Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to dock a spacecraft in Spaceflight Simulator. For those of you who don't know, Spaceflight Simulator is a game in which you manually and carefully craft your own rocket and then launch them based on your procedures. So here we are launching a rocket into space. So if you look on the top left, there's this angle counter. You have to turn your rocket based on the angle counter to reach the orbit. Orbit is basically like a parking lot around the Earth. In real life, it is used for communication satellites, the Hubble Space Telescope, outer space objects that you know about. That they are in a position called orbit. So they're circling around the Earth at 1600 meters per second. This is my rocket design. I originally used it for my moon lander, but now I'm gonna use it for my space station. Yes, I have a space station and I've already played this game a lot of times. Okay, you see on the top left, you can see a button called Map. This shows your trajectory and other planets. You can zoom out, zoom in and out, etc. Your trajectory is this line right here. If the trajectory is if your trajectory is wrapping all around the Earth, that means you are officially parked in low Earth orbit, which is orbiting but very close to the atmosphere. High Earth orbit is basically like this spot right here. If you see on the top right, there's this time warp thingy, time acceleration, etc. Okay, we're gonna have to speed up the rocket. So, we have this button on the right, which is the off button. If you press it, it switches to on. And here, you can see the throttling dynamics. This controls how much throttle you're putting into the engines that you've built into the spacecraft. For now, I'll let you skip. Okay, now that you've skipped, I've placed the rocket into this kind of orbit. Now, if you look at the bottom, you'll see these. Well, this is to steer the rocket, but if you press this, the RCS, you will activate them, and then you can use them in all kinds of different situations. For now, we're gonna dock to the space station. Press on the space station vehicle, and then press navigate to. You see this point with a text next to it. This text, at this point, you're gonna have to speed up so that your orbits will crisscross and then join at the other side, or a rendezvous. When you rendezvous, you can cancel out the relative velocity and dock with the space station. We're gonna skip that part because it's very annoying and it makes the video very long, so okay, I've crisscrossed the orbits of together. Now as you see, the space station altitude is 100 kilometers. So you use the RCS as I used to kind of fine tune the orbits. So this is what it looks like now. We're gonna time warp, and then we're gonna rendezvous with the space station that we're gonna dock with. Soon enough, we should be reaching it. Okay, now that we are kind of falling behind, we're gonna have to cancel out the relative velocity. So it's kind of like catching up. So first we're gonna focus on this rocket. Then we're kind of gonna like slowly but surely move to the space station. We've only got one shot at this, alright? One shot, and it's all over. If we mess it up, it's all over. We're not docking to the space station at all. Alright? I'm gonna have to skip this part because it's actually a bit annoying. Okay, so as you can see here, we are closing in with the space station. On the right, you can see the space station right there. I've built it piece by piece, not in a single piece. That would have been very inefficient. Docking in Spaceflight Simulator is very hard, but once you get the hang of it, you're gonna be able to make space stations at Mars or something. Or maybe even the moon. Or maybe Venus. Anyway, as you can see, we've used quite some fuel to kind of get this module back to the space station. But as you can see here, our solar array module is closing in. I've installed docking ports on each of the modules, so not only can there be other modules docking in, but also other spacecraft docking in. For example, a space shuttle wants to dock with the refueling module, or maybe the docking module, or maybe a moon lander wants to get a boost, and then they can dock using a space station. Cool, don't you think? Now that we've docked, this is the best thing I've ever done in my, well, to be honest, life. Now that we've docked, you can do some other missions such as setting up the orbits. Yeah, we're gonna skip this. Okay, now I can actually deploy our solar array module. Yep, that's right. I was planning on a solar array launch this whole time. Looking a bit like the real life space station now. If you want to refuel, you just have to tap on the spacecraft and then tap on the other spacecraft and you can refuel. That's easy, right? Well, you've got to dock first. And it's actually pretty tough trying to dock in space. But as you know, never give up. Thanks for watching. See you soon.